I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're diving into the mysteries of nature and faith with an amazing author. Her name is Lindy Kerr, and she's penned a powerful book. It is called God's Amazing Creation, the Story of Seeds. In the book, she explains how seeds are perfectly designed to spread across the earth, showcasing the brilliance of God's handiwork. From drought-resistant shells to miraculous growth, Lindy takes us on a journey into the wonder of creation itself. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Authors Tranquility Press for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Lindy, thank you so much for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Well, thank you for having me and for giving me this opportunity.
It's a true
Appreciate it.
pleasure to have you on the show. It's our opportunity to talk to you about your great book. What inspired you to write God's Amazing Creation, the Story of Seeds?
Oh, I have had this idea in my head for years, and I grew up on a farm in northern New Mexico, and I was just enthralled even then about God's creation outside. I loved being outside, and I started wondering about things, the way things worked. And we lived where animals had babies, and I would see them, and then I came down here to the desert area, and it is a whole different animal down here. And to survive, it is just miraculous that anything survives. And I started wondering, and I really wouldn't have come up with the idea of the story of seeds except for being in this dry and deserty place. And I started thinking, wow, it's amazing how the seeds just wait until the right exact time, the exact moisture, and it might take years. And then they would sprout. And then I started looking at how they moved from one place to another. How did one seed get to another place to sprout and spread around the world? And I just started wondering about these things and started thinking, wow, the creation of God is just so absolutely amazing. Uh, I just had to write the book.
When you look at the design of nature, when you look at the design of people, if you look at the design of something as simple as a seed, it really is faith affirming because
Yes.
how else could something like that tiny little seed grow into, limitless possibilities, right?
That's exactly right. It's just amazing. There's no way that that could happen by accident.
Yeah.
And in fact, one year we had a lot of rain, and that is very, very rare. But in that year, the county extension agent mentioned that he hadn't seen these plants that have come up. People are coming to him to identify plants that they had never seen. And those little seeds just waited in the ground till the right time to sprout. And it was just amazing. It is faith affirming. It is absolutely God Almighty affirming.
Without a doubt. You
Mhm.
describe science as the art of wondering. Talk to us a
Yeah.
little bit about that and how it's guided your writing.
Oh, well, because I feel like science is God. It's discovering God and what He has made, and there you can't separate the two. And in fact, I was a science teacher for 7 years in junior high in Lordsburg, and there I taught the kids, but I always told them, this is God's creation. Whatever we're studying is amazing because it's just what God created. And so that is why I say it's the art of wondering, because it's just I wonder how this works, or I wonder how that works. And it's just the art of wondering about God's creation.
And some people have a conflict when it comes to God and science. Like, I believe in science. You can believe
Mhm.
in both, right? I
Oh,
mean,
yes.
they're not mutually exclusive.
They are not. They are absolutely. In fact, they just go together. You can't have one without the other. You can't have science without God. And the more you study science, the more you see how things have worked together. And there's no way it happened by accident. Absolutely no way. Just look at DNA. And just look at uh, uh, how does a baby's heart start beating. Just look, there's so many really beautiful things. And by the way, I have this one book, but I have ideas for more books that I want to write, and they're all on God's amazing creation, but it's a story of something else.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, if you look at something as simple as a seed, it's quite amazing. Look at something as complex as a human being, the human mind, the human
Yeah.
heart, the life force that's within it. If this can be created by anything or anyone, do it. Let's see
Yes.
science create a human being, not from another human being, but from scratch, you
Yeah, from
know,
scratch.
and that's only through the Almighty, without a
Right.
doubt.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You grew up on a farm in New Mexico. Talk to us a little bit about how those early experiences shaped your love for creation.
Oh, well, I was best friends with my brother, and we ran around outside all the time. We worked really hard on the farm. It was a little 160-acre homestead up in it's all we had a little land in Colorado, so it was a very northernmost part of New Mexico. And I just ran around outside and just loved the outdoors and loved everything in the outdoors, animals and plants, and just saw things grow. And then really, it was down here in the desert when I really started appreciating the magnitude of God and how He protects His creation, how He uh, uh, made it so that things would survive down here in an extended amount of drought, and how things just work, and it's all just amazing. And actually, down here, I spend a lot of time outside too. We have a ranch, and I see, calves are born all the time, and the way everything works together. It's to me, I never get over the awesomeness of it. I just can't stop being excited about it. And I've lived 71 years here, and I'm still excited about the Lord and all the things that He did.
I guess you kind of become more aware of life, its fragility, and the preciousness of it when you live in the desert, because it's not easy for things to bloom. It's not easy for things to take root. It's not easy for calves to grow up in an area that's dry and barren a lot, right?
Right. It's not even easy for us to grow a garden.
Yeah.
We have to fight nature every step of the way. We have to water it. It's not like back east where you can throw some seeds out and it might rain on them.
Yeah.
And then we have the birds. They're hungry too, so they pick at our plants. Mice come and get our little seedlings. There's all kinds of things that happen, so it is very difficult. But just like the Gila monster, it'll go in the ground and just stay there for a long, long periods of time, and just come out, sometimes. And the animals, they've learned how to adapt. They called estivate. They go rest in the daytime when the sun is so hot, and then they get up and go eat in the nighttime or in the late afternoon. And you see these kind of things, the adaptations of the animals and the plants. And so you can see that they did it. They did it because God orchestrated in their little selves to do it.
Yeah,
And I do
absolutely.
have, here's the book. God's amazing creation, and the story of seeds. And in it, I tell about the seed and how it looks dead, and it doesn't look like, when you cook a pot of beans. Well, you don't think that they, how in the world could that thing come alive? And then you open up, and this is, of course, this is a children's book, and it's also an interactive book, so there's some little questions about it. But you look over here and you think, well, what's inside the seed? And I encourage the kids to go find a bean or a peanut and actually crack it open and see there's some little leaves in there just waiting for the right time to come out and sprout. And then I talk about how the, I don't know if you can see that on there
Hold it up
or
like that,
not.
we can see it. Yep, we can see the roots taking root there and so forth, and the
Yeah, and see, the beans are
potatoes.
waiting for the right time. Well, the right time came, and so they sprouted. There
Yep.
they are sleeping, and then here it is. It's hot and dry, and then not only, if a plant does decide to sprout, it'll make seeds really fast. In fact, I take a early walk, and I was noticing we have just now had some rain after a year of no rain, and it has been so very, very dry here. And I noticed that some plants that are it's some summer grass, and they sprouted, and they could grow about a foot high if there was a lot of rain. But there was rain in one time, and then another little rain on top of that, and so I could see they were about 3 inches high, and they had already made seeds because they don't think that there's going to be any more rain.
Amazing.
And it's just amazing. And then here's where they're all, there's different seeds going. Some of them just plop on the ground. Some of them, like a dandelion, will go off into the air. And then I illustrated the book too. I
Wow.
have interesting. I mean, I just enjoyed adding a little bit of humor and character. There's this little ladybug. She's going along with the plants, and here she's traveling along with the sheep and all the seeds that stuck to the sheep's fur or
Very cool.
wool. I should. My parents had sheep, so I better not say fur. It's wool. And then here's coconut, and he's going off to another island,
Cute.
to spread uh, his seed and to become a tree. And so anyway, it's then I have how to plant seeds. There's a
Great.
little thing on how to plant seeds, and so yeah, and then it talks a little bit about how um, in Psalm 111, it talks about the creation and how beautiful it is, and how the Lord orchestrated everything.
Mhm.
And then there's one little page about the seed dies and comes to life again, and that's what Jesus did too. So
Wonderful. That's beautiful. Very beautiful. What age group would you say would enjoy this book?
um, I would say 8 and 9 or under
Hmm.
probably would enjoy it. But I've had adults enjoy it. I've
Yeah.
had adults say, you know what, I learned some things from that book.
Yeah, well, I learned that the seeds can be carried on the sheep's wool, so
Yeah.
it taught me a couple of things as well.
Yeah.
And I do think children 8 or 9 would enjoy it, maybe even a little bit older, and sometimes younger, particularly if a parent's reading it to them. You could have a conversation about creation, a conversation about
Mhm.
God, a conversation about nature and science, because schools today try to keep it so separate. Science and
Yes,
God are different things, and they're not. Science is God's handiwork.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's so exactly right.
Yeah. Tell me
And it
about your
does.
years. What was it like teaching? Did you enjoy teaching? Do you wish you had this book back when you were teaching?
Oh yes, I love this book. In fact, my daughter-in-law, she thought that I should try to promote it to homeschooling
Mm.
companies because, and she is a teacher. She's an elementary teacher. She taught elementary, and then she got her administration degree, and now, uh, but she homeschools her children, and she, she just loved the book and thought it would be a good book uh, for home. I taught junior high, so I was a little bit above the level, but they still need to know. They still don't know basic things in junior high. I actually started thinking about the kids that live in cities, and a lot of times they just see pavement and maybe there's some parks around or something, but they're not gonna pick up on these kind of things. And so I really wanted to spread God's glory around. That's the whole entire purpose for doing it, is to show God's handiwork and His almighty love for the creation that He made and for us. And so I did, I enjoyed teaching. I really love to impart knowledge to people. I especially love to impart knowledge to people who want to learn. And in junior high, that was a little particular challenge, but I taught home economics. Actually, back then they called it home economics, and science, and I enjoyed both of them. And I have kids, that still come. They call me Mrs. Kerr because that's what they called me back then. And they still come up and say, "Oh, I still have my pillow that I made." And, they tell me that it was their favorite class. And it was really, really rewarding to teach them.
Yeah, that's great. That must be really rewarding when they come up to you years later and say, "Hey, you were my favorite teacher. That was my favorite class."
Yes,
That makes it all worth it, without a
it
doubt.
does.
Yeah. Tell us about the artwork in the book. It's really fabulous. I can't believe you did it yourself.
Oh,
Um, have you been an artist your whole life?
well, I wouldn't even call myself an artist, but I did what I have piddled around with art and painting and stuff, but I wouldn't call myself a professional, but I had the ideas for the little
Mhm.
humor based illustrations. And I really had a hard time deciding what medium to use. And I finally decided on, I used colored pencils, and that's what I used. But I did, I really can't say I'm a trained artist,
Well, you
but
don't
I
need
just
training.
love
You know
to.
what my mom used to say about training in the arts was, if you train in the arts, you're going to do what everybody else does. And
Yeah,
she had a very,
that's
very
true.
good point. You got to find your own voice. You got to find your own eye, your own hand, your own perspective. So I think training can be overrated, or perhaps even crimp your own personal style. So the colors are beautiful. They're bold. The perspective is wonderful. And like you said, there's kind of like a little humor and a little whimsy in your
Yeah,
artwork. Perfect for
and
kids.
that's what my brain comes up with, and that's why I wanted to illustrate the book myself. And besides that, I didn't know how to get in touch with illustrators.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Well, we're
just
glad you
wrote the
did it.
book.
We're glad you did it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it was really a joy to do. It was really fun, and just fun to come up with the ideas, and I enjoyed the whole process.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. You mentioned before that you didn't have rain for a whole year where you live. That's
Yeah.
mind-boggling to me. What's it like
Yeah.
living a year without rain? What does it do to your garden? Do you have to be extremely careful with water usage? Tell us about that.
Yes, and when I say it didn't rain a whole year, that meant like we might have gotten a tenth of an inch of rain, but that
Right.
doesn't bring the grass for the cows. And it is. like here in the Southwest, our water table is going down. We really do have an issue with water here because we've been in a long-term drought. In fact, when we first bought the ranch, I've had it for 29 years, and I went to a little seminar the first year, and the guy, he's from New Mexico State University, he said, I hate to tell you guys this, but the long-term weather patterns show that we're in a drought of a long-term 50-year drought, and we're just beginning in it. And sure enough, it's gotten less and less water, less and less snow. We used to have, maybe we would get 6 inches of snow in a year. And then uh, year before last, I got a little skiff, maybe a half an inch. And then this last year, I didn't get any snow at all that stuck on the ground. And the water usage, New Mexico has good water right laws that protect the water usage, but it's still going down. It's still not being replenished. And I have cows. I have 150 cows, and I've had to feed them hay. There are farmers around. One of my sons is grows hay, and I buy hay from him. And we fed hay, and we fed another supplement that's a liquid that they lick out of a trough. But we that's what we did to survive. I ended up having to sell a lot of cows. I had to sell my calves earlier than I thought I would. And it's been quite a challenge. And when it finally rained on us, and the rain here is real spotty. It's not like what I learned was a term called a general rain, which is, when the clouds just settle and it just kind of rains for a whole day or something like that. It's normally really spotty. We call it spotty, and there'll be, somebody will get a rain, and then and somebody else will get a rain, but we won't get a rain. And sometimes, it'll rain someplace and the grass will be green, and then here it won't rain. And I took a trip recently to my family up New Mexico, and it was yellow all the way up. And they've since had some rain. I think everybody's had some rain since then. And we were just like, when it finally happens, I just fall down. It's just like a flood of relief. You want to cry because it finally rained. And really, I have back in 2003, we had a really bad drought then too. And I have two hillsides. They had cedar trees on them, and the cedar trees died, and they're still dead, of course. But those kind of, there is some really terrible challenges here with agriculture and just the lack of rain. But somehow we all survive, and the cows survive, and we bounce back. We're just thankful for the rain we got and the grass that's now growing. And
Yeah,
we could quit feeding hay. We're really thankful for that too, because it gets expensive.
I'm sure. I'm sure. You must feel like doing a rain dance when the
Yeah.
rain finally comes, getting out there and letting it get on your face. It must feel good
Oh,
after a
we
year of
do.
drought. Yeah.
We go out, our entertainment is getting in the pickup and going and seeing where it rained. And then we get in there are draws or arroyos that run the water. And so of course we're careful not to get in a flash flood or anything, but we'll, go out and splash in the water and go run up and down in the arroyos, and even some of us adults.
I don't blame you. It sounds like it's much needed after a year of very little rain or any appreciable rain. Are you
Yeah.
working on any other books now? What's next for you as a writer?
Well, I intend to have this as I think you call it a series, but it would be God's Amazing Creation. And this one is the story of seeds. And the next one that I want to write is God's Amazing Creation, the story of birds and nests and other things. And then I want to write the God's Amazing Creation, the story of water, because water is a compound all on its own. It is a special thing, and God created it for us to use. And so there are some other ones that I have in mind that I would like to write. And then someone one asked me if I would please write a memoir of my life on the farm and on the ranch. And so I'm thinking about, I have written down some notes, and I'm thinking about doing that too. So there's a lot. I don't know if I'm going to squeeze it all in the rest of my lifetime, but I hope I do.
Good. It's always good to squeeze things in. I think you got a lot of life left in you for sure. And
Thank you.
so it's great to have a bunch of projects. Your memoir will be fun because it'll be nice to think back on all of the different aspects of your life, from growing up to school to work to family and so forth. So I
Hmm.
guess you're looking forward to that project, right?
I am. I am really. In fact, years ago, I came up with the idea of writing a book called Memoirs of a Farm Wife. And that was, wow, when my kids were little. And so I started making some notes even back then, because when you live on a ranch or a farm, it's so different. And our experiences are different. And we have so many things happen that we have to figure out what to do about it. Um and it's just it's a fun and enjoyable life. I've been on a farm all of my life, and I love it, and I love the lifestyle, but I wish for people to to see how we live, and how we survive, how we solve these problems that we have that you can't even imagine. Like, for instance, my when I was young, my brother fell in our well, and my mother kept telling my dad, "Oh, you need to fix that. You need to fix." It was just a board across it, and you need to fix that. Well, one day my brother, and he was right behind me. I had just gone over it, and I looked back to see my brother's head just disappear down in the well, and he
God.
it was 40 feet. It's 40 feet deep, but it was just had mud in it or something. He didn't drown, and he survived. We had to throw a rope, but my parents worked and they weren't home. And so we had to get the hired hand to go help and get him out. And that's just one of the experiences that we've had.
Well, you've got a lot of stories to tell, no doubt. That's just one of them. And it's
Hmm.
amazing. Thank God he was okay. Thank God he didn't bang his head. Thank God he
Yes.
wasn't drowned in there. Thank God it
Right.
wasn't the septic or something he fell
Oh,
in. I
yes,
mean,
that was
there's
horrible.
that would be terrible. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
And I
Exactly.
speaking of we have mine shafts around here
Hmm.
because we live in an area where they were mining in the 1800s, the late 1800s. They mined a lot of silver and copper and some gold. And one of my bulls, I had just bought two bulls, and one of them disappeared, and I couldn't find him. Well, my son finally found him, and he was down in the bottom of a mine shaft, and he was dead. And so, it's just one of those things. There's just story after story just like those.
Absolutely. We got lots of stories to tell. We can't wait for that book to be done. The book we've been exploring today, folks, is part of a series. It's wonderful. The
Yep.
umbrella for the series, it's called God's Amazing Creation. The book we've been specifically looking at is called The Story of Seeds. It explores how
Yes.
seeds are perfectly designed to sprout, survive, and spread across the earth, showcasing the brilliance of God's handiwork. It's an amazing story. Your children will love it. You'll love talking to your children about the lessons found within the pages. And the pages and the story and the prose are all brought to life by the wonderful illustrations that are also created by Lindy Kerr. Lindy, thank you so
Yes.
much for joining me here today.
Well, thank you for having me. I just appreciate so much the opportunity to talk about my book and to visit with you. Thank you.
Well, it was a real joy. I appreciated talking with you and visiting with you as well. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time until next time on Spotlight.